Crosshairs. They come in a variety of shapes and sizes. Some have dots, and some are just circles. Some are red and some are green. But what matters more than what they look like is where you put them. And when you put them in the wrong place, this happens.
Oh, you almost had that.
I got Odin.
Now let's break down what happened here. I take out the Phoenix that's boosted in mid, back off, heal myself, and check vent door for any pushes. Or reload. Now I know that Phoenix isn't alone because he was boosted by the Sage wall. So I check the left and right sides of mid to see where that Sage might be, and then clear vents. And as I'm clearing vents, I narrowly avoid the backstab from Sage. Here the issue becomes apparent. My crosshair is at knee height, and when I move to correct, I bring it to chest height. I shoot first. Sage shoots me in the leg, but corrects a second shot into my head. So now I'd like to show you guys some things that you can do by yourself in the shooting range to improve your crosshair placement in regards to holding it at head height specifically. Now, there are a lot of things that you can do outside the shooting range. Watching your own play via VOD review or something similar is probably the best way to learn pretty much any skill, in my opinion. I found that after watching VODs and coming back to the game, it felt physically wrong to have bad crosshair placement. And it was like this anchor was on my mouse every time I had it too low, and I felt like I had to push that back up and really set things right. It was a huge tool for me to get better crosshair placement. Also, if you have friends that are willing to help you, you can go to custom game on any map and have them post up at various spots in a site. Like, if you think of a split, you could have someone on ramp, someone on heaven, and someone on the long CT angle. And you can come through from main and try to trace where their heads are going to be. And it's a more realistic sort of situation. But this stuff you can do on demand whenever you need. So, to start, I'm going to use this bullseye over here because it's at about head height. Now, an important part of attacking a site or retaking is being able to clear corners. So when you're coming around an angle like this, you want to kind of hug the angle at head height. And this bullseye is at about head height. So something I like to do is just practice coming around and getting some shots down into that. I would use this dummy, but he's a little bit lower than us, so head height is kind of right above his head. Still kind of useful though. And once I'm done with that, I'll come over here, and I'll keep the shooting range on easy. I know that's not very common, but I think it's a very useful tool, because it kind of lets you see what you do wrong when you do it wrong. And I'll show you guys that by starting this and using bad crosshair placement, right? If I hold knee height, I have to think about the vertical axis. I have to come up to the head. And that's going to be significantly more difficult for my right hand to accomplish. Not impossible, but it's harder. It's going to be slower a lot of the time too. Now, if I change that... Ooh, that was bad. If I change that to being at head height, now I'm only thinking horizontally. And I can get some practice in on my tap shooting and getting used to where the head is. And I can kind of use this as a warm-up for everything. If I want, I can spray instead of tapping. I can use only single taps. I can do really whatever I want for my warm-up here. And I think that's very useful in a comprehensive sense, but especially for that head height crosshair placement. Now, hopefully, you guys found some of that useful. I think holding your crosshair at head height is one of the biggest skills that new players don't seem to have. I don't know if it's because they've been playing a lot of battle royales where you're looking at the ground a lot to loot, or if it's just not a natural concept for a lot of players. But this is the first thing that's going to really elevate your game, because a lot of gunfights are lost where you did significant damage, 3-4 shots to the body. Getting that one to the head would have finished it. So I think that clip that I showed at the start was very indicative of that issue, a fight that I, by all means, should have won. But I shot that dude in the body like 3 times. So if you guys have any tips for me as far as video editing or audio recording, given that I am very new to this, I am all ears. And I'm going to be following this video up with another video on where your crosshair should be in regards to distance from the angle that you're watching on defense or in a post-plant situation, as well as a video regarding how to choose the crosshair that's right for you. So hopefully I'll see you guys around.